First off, congratulations to Anthony Joshua, and my condolences go out to him and the friends and family of his coaches / friends whose lives were taken in the tragic accident that happened on December 29, 2025. For those who saw the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight on Friday, December 19, 2025, you saw that Jake has taken his second professional loss via knockout in the 6th round of the 8-round bout. Props to Jake for giving it his all and not getting cooked in the first few rounds like most speculated he would. If you saw my last Jake Paul video or been following boxing, you probably know the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight was supposed to happen on November 14, 2025. However, was canceled for various speculated reasons, the main one being Tank's legal issues. That fight was supposed to be an exhibition match, which would have more than likely been a non-scored no contest or a draw. So I've been saying Tank flipped Jake Paul over because instead of a knockout that resulted in Jake Paul's second professional loss, as well as a broken jaw, fans would have been discussing if they believed Tank or Jake won their exhibition match due to it lacking an official winner, not Jake taking a devastating loss to Anthony Joshua. But again, props to Jake for fighting a high-tier heavyweight boxer on short notice. Anyways, here are the 5 heavyweight boxers I would like to see Jake Paul box next, and these fights will be 8-round bouts, of course, to keep up with what Jake is used to. Derek Chisora. For those who don't know him, Derek Chisora is what I deem a journeyman heavyweight boxer that has losses against greats such as Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, and Vitaly Klitschko. Chisora is consistently ranked by BoxRec as the 10th best heavyweight in the world over a decade, but he is also getting older. Seeing that he isn't retired but is still 14 years older than Jake, I think this would be competitive. Chisora weighed in at 259.5 pounds in his last fight, 42.9 more pounds than Jake weighed in at the Anthony Joshua fight. With a professional record of 36 wins and 13 losses, I give the fight to Jake Paul by majority decision. Andy Ruiz Jr. An extremely solid heavyweight boxer who gained a lot of casual eyes when he caught Anthony Joshua off guard, resulting in Andy winning via KO. He unfortunately lost the rematch to Anthony Joshua, but he is not to be underestimated, being a former unified world champion. I even saw talks of Andy possibly boxing Deontay Wilder. Ruiz weighed in at 274.4 pounds, 57.8 more pounds than Jake's last fight weight. Jake Paul risks facing a similar fate as he did when he fought AJ here, and with a professional record of 35 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, I would say this fight goes to Andy by KO or decision 6 to 7 times out of 10. If Jake wins, it's by decision, not KO. Francis Ngannou. Now that I've seen Jake take some healthy and not past their prime heavyweight punches from AJ, I think I'm ready to see him try his hand at boxing the former hardest puncher in the UFC. As a former heavyweight MMA champion fighting in the UFC, Francis moved to boxing to make more money, but suffered 2 professional losses to Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua respectively, getting knocked out in the 2nd round by Joshua. This is another reason why I think Jake Paul can box Francis, since Jake lasted 4 more rounds than Francis did against Anthony Joshua, and the 3rd reason is due to Francis being a former MMA fighter, which is what Jake is used to defeating. Francis weighed in at 272.5 pounds in his last fight, and with a professional MMA record of 18 wins and 3 losses, kickboxing record of 1 win and 0 losses, and a professional boxing record of 0 wins and 2 losses, Ngannou is a dangerous match for Jake outside of a boxing setting, but Jake has the skill to be able to avoid a KO in my opinion, especially considering the experience with heavyweight boxing he received from his Anthony Joshua fight. This fight goes to either Francis with an early KO or Jake via decision. Tyson Fury. On February 26, 2023, we saw Jake Paul take his first defeat to Tommy Fury in a cruiserweight bout via split decision. I believe 2 things. 1, at this point in time, the split decision probably goes the other way this time in Jake's favor if he were to box Tommy Fury now. And 2, Jake Paul can defeat Tommy's older brother Tyson Fury with a similar tactic that he attempted on Anthony Joshua. Fury weighed in at 281 pounds in his last fight, 64.4 more pounds than Jake, and the heaviest boxer on this list. With a professional boxing record of 34 wins and 2 losses, Fury is definitely a tough contender skill-wise, and despite the fact that he was able to take blows from Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou and get back up, I believe this is the only boxer on the list that I would say Jake Paul can knock out. Leaning Fury by decision, 7 out of 10, or Jake by decision or late round KO. Deontay Wilder. As a fan of Deontay Wilder, it would be delusional to act like bro isn't pretty washed up at this point, but he had a great run for someone many would call a one-trick pony. With a devastating right hand that has knocked out 43 of his 44 opponents he has beaten, losing at first only to Tyson Fury before taking 2 more losses after his trilogy with Fury, Wilder has 44 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Wilder weighed in at 225.5 pounds in his last fight, making him the closest in weight to Jake. With Wilder being a former WBC heavyweight champion, I think this fight will be difficult, similarly to the Anthony Joshua fight. However, Wilder has less skill than AJ in my opinion, and is 4 years older. So if Wilder doesn't knock Jake out, I would give it to Jake via decision. I'll call this a 50-50. In addition, I'm not sure if it's true, but allegedly Crawford has said he will come out of retirement to box Jake Paul. Since both the Canelo v. Crawford and Paul v. Joshua rematches don't seem likely, I wouldn't mind seeing Paul v. Crawford in either a sanctioned or exhibition match. Jake has already called out Canelo in the past, and we will have to wait and see if Jake Paul's brother Logan Paul backs up his claims and boxes Anthony Joshua next, but I would expect that to definitely be an exhibition match like Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. I want to end off saying Jake Paul has had a notable career so far, to say the least, and while these fights would no doubt be entertaining and bring a lot of revenue, if we were taking a more serious path for him, I would suggest he box Liam Callanan next. Jake Paul, before the Anthony Joshua fight, was ranked under the World Boxing Association, or the WBA, as the 14th best cruiserweight. He has since dropped to the number 15 under the ranked 14th boxer Liam Callanan. If Jake locks in and makes his way up the WBA rankings and wins the WBA cruiserweight title, more boxing fans will be forced to take him more seriously than they have, and he will still have notable names in the beginning of his career, albeit they might be considered his rigged or joke fights. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and who you want to see Jake Paul box next. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more boxing content.